I bought this house because it felt alive. The walls creaked like old lungs. The pipes rattled when no water ran, and sometimes, at night, the floorboards gave off a sound that wasn't quite wood. Something deeper, like the earth itself remembering. The realtor said it had been vacant for 20 years. That should have been my first warning. But I needed silence, and I thought an empty house in the middle of nowhere was the closest I'd get to peace. The first week was fine. Cold air, soft rot, an occasional sound of something settling in the crawl space. I told myself every house breathes differently. On the 8th night, I started hearing the tapping. It began under my bed, steady and patient. 3 taps. Pause. 3. More, sometimes faster. Like it was matching my heartbeat. I thought it was pipes or a mouse, until I moved my bed and heard the sound come from directly beneath the floorboards. I knocked back. 3 taps. Pause. 3 more. That was the first conversation. I tore open a section of the floor the next morning. Beneath the boards was nothing but hard-packed dirt, a black space that smelled of cold clay and dust. I dropped a flashlight down there, expecting to see something scurrying, but the beam died halfway. Swallowed like light doesn't travel right down there. That night, the tapping came again, this time closer to the walls, like it was moving. I tried recording it with my phone, but when I played it back, all I heard was my own voice saying, "Don't knock back." I hadn't said that. I deleted the recording immediately, but the file came back. New name. Same message. By the 3rd week, the sound was under every room. Sometimes it echoed from the vents, sometimes from the stairs. I started wearing headphones to sleep, playing white noise. The first time the white noise cut out, I thought it was my phone dying, but the screen glowed, fully charged, and from the speakers came the same sound I'd been hearing, that slow, patient knocking, threaded perfectly into the static. And beneath the knocks, I swear I heard words, whispered, reversed. Something like, "We remember the weight of you." I unplugged the phone, threw it in a drawer, and spent the rest of the night staring at the ceiling. Every so often, the light fixture above me trembled, like someone was walking upside down on the other side of the plaster. 2 nights later, I went down into the crawl space. I shouldn't have, I knew that. But it wasn't curiosity. It was pressure, like something in the house wanted me there. The space was only 4 feet high, barely enough to crouch. I crawled with a flashlight clenched between my teeth, brushing past spider webs and hanging insulation. I kept telling myself this was stupid, that I'd find nothing but damp wood and old pipes. Then I found the wall, a perfect square of concrete at the far end of the foundation, cleaner than anything else under there. No mold, no cracks, no dust, just smooth gray stone, cold to the touch. I pressed my ear against it. Something moved on the other side. It wasn't a knock this time. It was a long drag, like fingers tracing the outline of my skull from the other side of the barrier. "And then it's your turn," the voice whispered, perfectly clear. I don't remember climbing out. I remember the air feeling thinner in the house after that, like I'd opened a vent to somewhere deeper than the crawl space. The walls looked a shade darker. The mirrors stopped reflecting properly. They didn't show my face anymore, just the house, empty. When I leaned closer, I could see the reflection move without me, a fraction of a second out of sync, like it was waiting for me to notice. A few days later, the county records office called Tace ID. TD processed my property deed, but something was wrong with the date. Apparently, the house hadn't been vacant for 20 years. It had been demolished 20 years ago, condemned after a structural collapse. The foundation gave way and buried the tenants inside. The woman on the phone asked if I was sure I had the right address. I told her I was sitting in the living room right now. Se hung up. That night, I woke to the sound of someone walking in the hall. Slow, deliberate steps. The kind you hear when someone's trying not to wake you. I grabbed a flashlight and opened the door. The hallway was empty, but the light flickered, and for a moment, I saw something impossible. The hallway bending, folding itself back, each door leading to another version of the same corridor. I closed the door and leaned against it, shaking. On the other side, the footsteps stopped. Then came the knocking. From inside my room, 3 taps. Pause. 3 more. I turned on every light, every lamp. The air shimmered like heat, even though it was freezing. The shadows bent wrong. They leaned toward the floor, toward the crawl space. I realized it wasn't the house that was breathing. It was what was underneath it. And now it was closer. I decided to leave. I packed a bag, grabbed my keys, and opened the front door. But there was no porch, no trees, no night sky, just the same hallway. Every door led back inside. The windows looked into other rooms, and every reflection of me looked slightly wrong, too still, too calm, waiting for something I hadn't done yet. I tried calling for help. No signal. The clock on the wall read 5:43 a.m. It's always 5:43 a.m. now. When I check my phone, every photo I take shows the house empty. No furniture, no walls, no me. Just a crawl space. And in every picture, the concrete wall is cracked a little more. I think I understand now. This isn't a house. It's a shape the ground made around a memory. And I wasn't the one who bought it, I was the one it remembered. The knocking hasn't stopped. It's everywhere now. Inside the walls, beneath the floors, in my chest. I feel it when I breathe. Sometimes I knock back, without meaning to. Sometimes I feel something knock from the inside. The last time I checked the crawl space, there wasn't solid anymore. There's an opening, not big enough for me yet, but it's growing. I can see light behind it, like something breathing out. And sometimes, at the edge of the hole, I see movement. Something shaped like me, but slower, like it's still learning how to be. It knocks, I knock. It moves, I move. It smiles first. I'm recording this now because I think it's almost done. The knocking's been constant for hours. The house feels hollow, stretched thin. If you find this, don't come looking for the house. Don't go where it used to be. It doesn't stay gone. It remembers anyone who listens long enough. And if, while you're listening to this, you hear something tapping along 3 times, pause. 3 times. Don't knock back.